conversation today is coming from Levine Group in Baltimore, Maryland. We're in my office, and I just had the pleasure of going downstairs into our training facility and talking to one of our client practices as they were heading out for lunch. And the doctor took me aside and he said, you know, this consulting is really great, but what I love is my team is engaged, they're participating, they're energized. And it made me think about the conversation I wanted to have with you today, because doctors don't learn much about leadership in dental school, and I'm speaking to the staff now, there's no surprise here, and we don't learn a whole lot about business. So we put together the best set of habits we possibly can, and we try to run the best practice we're capable of without really knowing what we're doing. But there is a concept I want to share with you all around building systems in the practice where the team really starts to build themselves. And it all comes from the team developing a desire for accountability. The problem with accountability for the team today, and doctors don't understand this, so go back to your doctor if you're a team member and share this, is that we really are finding that the doctors have not set up the system so the team members are doing what's habitual, the habits they carry out day to day. But imagine if team members had the right systems and they could work with those systems, understand the goals, what's to be done, and hold themselves accountable. We are seeing amazing results in practices. So I'm talking to this doctor today, and he said to me 6 months ago he thought he was going to have to replace half his team. Things weren't running smoothly. He was unhappy. He was fatigued. He was stressed. And today it's all the difference in the world, and it's the same group of people. He said to me, what's the real difference? And I said, the difference is that you have now put systems in the practice which are training guides for your team to work forward and know what to do. They have an opening day checklist, an end of the day checklist. They have targets. The front desk staff knows that 98% of the patients are to be scheduled at all times. If a patient comes up front, they're to be scheduled. If they don't schedule, they get a phone call the next morning using a value creation script. Mrs. Jones, as a service to you, where can I conveniently call you tomorrow morning? Every patient who comes up front, the first thing they hear is, how was your visit today? I mean, this staff is starting to click and gel because they're excited and motivated. They just didn't have the skills. But the best part is now they're building themselves. They're building their own team. They're working together. They're integrating. Each person knows what they're supposed to do, what's to be done every day, every week, every month, and they're holding themselves accountable in a positive way. Checklists are critical. If you have systems, you also need checklists. There was a wonderful book written this year called The Checklist Manifesto by a surgeon talking about, you know, you can do an operation 1,000 times, but if you don't have a checklist, you will eventually kill somebody. If you don't have a checklist, you'll have breakdowns in your office, and then they get more frequent, and then that leads to the fatigue and the stress and the unhappiness that isn't necessary. So many practices have such an amazing opportunity to grow their production and grow their profit by letting the team build themselves. It doesn't mean running amok. It means here are the systems, here's the value creation scripting, take this training and make it work in our practice. And the winner are dentists. So many dentists are micromanagers. They're not spending our target of 98% of their workday directly involved in patient care. They're micromanaging, they're answering questions, they're checking on this. Some doctors are going back at night. We had one doctor who joined us this year who was going back 2 to 3 hours every night to do paperwork. The first sign of a poorly run practice. It's completely unnecessary. And if you're one of those people, I will show you $2 and $3 million practices where the dentist does not go back at night and do paperwork. I'll show you all sizes where the dentist does not go back at night and do paperwork. So the team, with the right training, can literally run the day-to-day operations. The dentist gets to do dentistry, which is what we love to do. Production goes up, profit goes up, and it all comes back to team accountability, or what I love to call watching the team build themselves. So I hope you've enjoyed this conversation. It's really food for thought. It's amazing when you put in systems and value creation scripting how a practice can take off. Remember from other conversations, all practice management is about systems, step-by-step, documented systems. If you want to know more about this, look at other parts of this resource center that we created just for you, because this resource center is meant to help you understand more about your practice. If you want to take a step further, contact us to have a complimentary 9-point diagnostic, and we'll give you some great feedback about where your systems stand, where they can be improved, and what systems can really mean to you. As I always say, keep in mind, you only get to do this career once. Today was not a dress rehearsal. I wish you the very best of luck. Energize your team and let them become accountable and watch them build themselves.